I just went through a rigged trial in New York with a highly conflicted, and I mean highly conflicted, judge, where there was no crime.
Donald Trump just gave a sloppy and sweaty speech in Phoenix, Arizona at a Turning Point USA event. Now, Turning Point USA is the PAC of Charlie Kirk, who is a right-wing MAGA sycophant and has floated the idea of repealing the Civil Rights Act.
And the Civil Rights Act, though, let's be clear, created a beast, and that beast has now turned into an anti-white weapon.
Yeah, and that's the reality. And so we just need to fundamentally relook at a lot of our civil rights legal regime.
But at this rally, we saw all of the usual talking points. It even seemed like Trump was getting sick of his own talking points. Watch this clip.
Impeachment hoax number one, impeachment hoax number two, all hoaxes. Everything's a hoax. These people are sick.
Every court is rigged, every judge is rigged, every jury is rigged, every lawyer is rigged against me, every DA is conflicted, every single election and every single key swing state is rigged against me, but you guys already know all of that. Donald Trump then brought on former Maricopa County Sheriff Joe Arpaio to the stage, and Joe nearly broke down in tears, talking about how Donald Trump is his hero, but it's not a cult. Watch this.
But when I woke up, I told my wife, I finally found the only hero I ever had in my life, and that's him.
And when he brought Joe Arpaio up, he kissed him on the cheek and made a joke about kissing men. Watch this.
I don't kiss men, but I kissed him. We had a real border with this guy. People said he was too tough or too... Now they're saying, where is Sheriff Joe?
Donald Trump then began ranting about how the upcoming debate is on unfair terms, even though he agreed to the terms. Him and his team could have negotiated with the Biden team, and he agreed to the terms, and now is complaining. Watch.
Because you know what? They thought I wouldn't take it. Being on CNN, and Dana Bash is very tough to Trump. Dana Bash, another beauty. So I have Dana Bash and Fake Tapper, and they thought, here's what we'll do. We'll offer him the worst thing that could be offered. These two anchors, Dana Bash, Fake Tapper, CNN, no audience, nobody. Your children, your wife, nobody can be there. Oh, that's going to be interesting for him, though, isn't it? Nobody can be there. And they want you sitting down. So I said, I'll take it. They thought what was going to happen is that I'd say, I won't do it, and then they'll say, Trump doesn't want to debate. I want to debate. We should have many debates, frankly. We really should. Because we have to find...
Donald Trump then continued to use this apocalyptic rhetoric by saying our country is going to hell, our country is being invaded. He also used that talking point that he likes to now use about hearing languages that he's never even heard of out on the streets or in schools. He said that kids in schools, hardworking citizens, could have their place taken by immigrants, as if the immigrants couldn't also be hardworking students. Watch.
And the instructor's talking English, and they have somebody speaking, in some cases, languages that we'd never even heard of. You know, there are a lot of languages that we don't have here. We have nobody that even speaks these languages. And they're sitting down in a school, taking a student's place that might be a hardworking, good student, a citizen, the child of citizens, and they're taking their place. Our country is going to hell, and we're going to stop it. We're going to stop it on November 5th.
And this is where I noticed Donald Trump become increasingly incoherent throughout this speech. And this is a pattern that I've noticed with Donald Trump lately. When he sat down with Sean Hannity last night, he was off to a relatively okay start, but then throughout the conversation, he was slurring, he was stuttering, he was making less and less sense, and it's the same exact way on the stage tonight. He started off terrible, but then he ended even more terrible because he was slurring and being more incoherent than before. Watch this.
When I was in China, I was with President Xi, 1.4 billion people, strong guy, and we got along well until COVID. Then I said, the hell with it, man. It wasn't. What they unleashed on the world was incredible, but...
It reminds me of last night when Donald Trump started rambling about nuclear.
The other night about that nuclear doesn't matter so much. What matters is, think of this, global warming. The only global warming that matters to me is nuclear global warming, because that's the real deal. We're at the most dangerous point in the history of our country because of the power of weaponry, nuclear weapons in particular. Weapons that are so powerful and I've seen the effects. And I had an uncle, a great professor at MIT for many years. We used to talk about nuclear a lot. He understood nuclear very well.
We then saw Donald Trump scream Jimmy Carter's name and talk about how he was actually a decent president if you compare him to President Biden.
He is destroying our country. The only good thing, Jimmy Carter's a nice man. Do we agree? Jimmy Carter is a brilliant president. Jimmy Carter is a brilliant president by comparison. His administration, by comparison, is brilliant. So as an older man, not feeling great. And he's a nice person. I know him a little bit. Nice person. But Jimmy Carter's happy now because he says that his administration is brilliant compared to Joe Biden. Joe Biden is the worst president in history. We have to win on November 5th, which will be the most important day in the history of our country. I'm telling you, it will be.
It will be the most important day in American history, but not for the reason Donald Trump thinks. It'll be our final signal that MAGA authoritarianism is not welcome in the United States when we vote out all of the MAGA sycophants and we make sure Joe Biden is re-elected. And we make sure that he doesn't enforce these draconian border measures like the one he talks about here.
On day one, I will seal the border, I will stop the invasion, and we will begin the largest domestic deportation operation in the history of our country. Have no choice. We have no choice. Biden has given us no choice.
But we all know that Donald Trump is just posturing here. He does not care whether the border is sealed or not. He cares about what affects him and what benefits him politically. We had a perfectly good border bill on the desk of Congress that Donald Trump nuked from behind the scenes. It's funny, they used to say that Hillary Clinton was the swamp and pulled strings from behind the scenes, but here we have Donald Trump appointing his daughter-in-law as the head of the RNC and nuking bills when he's not even in any political position whatsoever. Donald Trump then went through the usual routine where he says everything is rigged against me.
And I'll tell you what, we have to change the system. We have to straighten out what's going on in these courts. We got a rigged deal going, this whole country, and we've got to do it. And those appellate courts have to step up and straighten things out, or we're not going to have a country any longer.
He says that a bunch of times throughout the speech, we're not going to have a country any longer. He said that last night with Hannity too. That's one of his new lines. It's another prime example of Donald Trump using this apocalyptic rhetoric that his followers eat up, and then when they commit violence, he says, oh, I had no clue whatsoever that they would do that. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment a blue heart if you made it this far, leave a comment. My name is Mockler, and I hope you have a great day.